friends, and welcome to the mid-year book freakout tag. I think that's what it's called. I've seen a lot of people do this, and I thought what better way to hit the midway point than talk about some of the books I've already read and some of the books I plan on reading this year. So it is June, which means it's the midway point, and I have read 58 books. My goal on Goodreads this year was 52, so I've hit that, and I'm just going to keep on going and see how many we can hit. This is kind of, my first year back to reading since like high school, so some of these books are probably going to be books that a lot of people have already read, but they're books that I read this year, so I'm going to talk about them. So, question number 1 is the best book you've read this year so far, and I have 2 that I'm going to show you because I could not pick. So those 2 are Ready Player One and Daisy Jones and the Six. I've talked about Ready Player One a lot on my channel. I read it in like March and I was obsessed, but I just read Daisy Jones and the Six like a couple days ago, cried, and it was so amazing. You're going to see a lot from Taylor Jenkins Reid in this video because I am absolutely obsessed right now. And I loved this book. So these are my 2 favorite reads so far. I have a lot of 5-star reads, but right now, these are my big 2. Question number 2 is, what was your favorite sequel? And I tend to not like sequels. At least just like the second book, they tend to not be as good. But I do have one favorite sequel. And my favorite sequel so far that I read this year is Crooked Kingdom. I read Six Crows and Crooked Kingdom at the in January. So far, this is the best sequel that I have read, and I really love it, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about Six Crows. But yes, I didn't read this until January, so this is making it in this year. Number 3 is a recent release, or like a release that was in like the first half of 2021 that you have not read yet but you want to read, and for me that is Malibu Rising. I'm really excited. I want to read this, but I literally have no money to buy books right now, so I cannot go buy it. But as soon as I have money to buy books, I will be buying Malibu Rising and then binging it because I am obsessed and I need to read it immediately. Number 4 is your most anticipated release for the second half of 2021, and for me that is probably going to have to be Our Violent Ends by Chloe Gong. I loved Our Violent Delights, and so I'm really excited for that book to come out. Also, honorable mention for Once Upon a Broken Heart by Stephanie Garber. I'm pretty excited about that one too. I pre-ordered a signed pink copy of that book because I loved the Caraval series. So I'm also pretty excited about that one, but mainly Our Violent Ends. Number 5 is your most disappointing read of the year. And sadly, I'm giving it to To Kill a Kingdom. It was between this or Ariadne. Ariadne was okay, but I feel like I skimmed the whole thing. And this as well. I thought it had so much good potential, and I read this like fairly soon after I read Daughter of the Pirate King, which I loved that duology, but this one just didn't really do it for me. I found a lot of parts boring and I skimmed through them. I thought the concept was really cool. I just didn't think it was executed right. Also, the love interest didn't do anything for me. So I was kind of disappointed by this read, but it still wasn't a bad book. Number 6 is a book that surprised you. And the book that surprised me is The Silent Patient. Not only because I thought this book was great and I loved it and the plot twist got me. I did not see it coming until it hit me. But also because I wasn't sure really if I was going to like this style of book after reading so much fantasy for a while. But I really enjoyed this book and I really liked it and it surprised me. Plot twist and for likability reasons. I'm currently reading The Maiden, so hopefully it will also surprise me and be just as good. Number 7 is favorite new author, whether it be their debut, so they're a new author, or they're just new to you. And so for me, it's just new to me. If you can take a guess, it's gonna be Taylor Jenkins Reid. I am obsessed. I'm literally obsessed, and I want to read all of her books now because I have loved all of the 2 that I've read, and so she's not a new author, but she's new to me, and so she's my new favorite author at the moment. Number 8 is your newest fictional crush, and I thought about it a lot, and I didn't want to go with like Kaz because I just read Six Crows. I went for one from a book that I've read more recently, and that's Victor Vale. I love that man. that's all I'm going to say. I'm going to insert a fan art of him. But Victor Vale, my favorite new bad boy. Number 9 is just your favorite fictional character or new favorite fictional character. And because I read Six Crows this year, I'm going to have to go with Nina Zinnik because I absolutely love her. And she's new to me still fairly. But she's definitely my favorite character. I just love everything about her. And I love reading any of her chapters in any of the books. So Nina, and here's some fan art of Nina. Number 10 is a book that made you cry, and I have 2. Daisy Jones and the Six, obviously, which I showed earlier, but also this book made me cry more than I have cried in any book in a very long time. When I say I finished this in one sitting and I cried 3 separate times, I was sobbing at 2 in the morning when I finished this book. Like sobbing, like could not breathe, didn't know what to do to myself, talking to myself at 2 in the morning because there was no one to talk to about it, and I was just like destroyed. And it was also a really good book, pretty high up there. And again, we see a recurring theme of Taylor Jenkins Reid. Number 11 is a book that made you happy. And I also read this book recently when I was on vacation at the beach, and it is People We Meet on Vacation by Emily Henry. I also loved this book. It took me a minute to get into, but that was purely my fault because I was distracted on the beach. But I loved it. It was so cute, so sweet, and I'm not a like friends to lovers kind of person or any of that. I was obsessed. I actually cried reading this book, which it's not a sad book. Like I shouldn't have cried. There was nothing sad happening, but I cried because I just thought to myself, no one's ever gonna love me the way that they love each other. Like I want someone to love me the way that they love each other and People We Meet on Vacation. So it did make me really happy because I was just so happy for the 2 characters, and I just really loved it, and it was cute. Number 12 is the most beautiful book that you have bought this year, and that one's pretty easy. It is Firekeeper's Daughter. I just love, I mean, I have lots of pretty books, but I love the cover of this book. I think it's so beautiful, which is one of the reasons I bought it when I went to Barnes & Noble, but the book itself is really good as well. I really love the story too, but I just think gorgeous. Yeah. Love it. It's great. So, number 13 and the last question is, what are some books that you are wanting to finish before the end of the year? And I have a small list. I actually have a very large list, but I'm going to condense it for you. So first, which are books that I was going to read 2 months ago and then I never did, I've been putting it off. It is From Blood and Ash and A Kingdom of Flesh and Fire. I need to read these books. I've been wanting to read these books, but I feel like I need the perfect moment to read these books, and the perfect moment just hasn't shown up yet. But I do want to read them before the end of the year. And also I need to get A Crown of Gilded Bones. I think that's the name of it. So I definitely want to read the From Blood and Ash series. Also high on my list is to read We Hunt the Flame. Also We Free the Stars. I've heard so many good things about it, and I finally picked it up, and so I can't buy books right now, which is a problem because I need the sequel to this. So I'm gonna knock out a few standalones, and when I get paid, hopefully I can buy this second one, and then I'll be okay to read them because I have to have the sequel or be able to buy the sequel in order to start a series, because I cannot read another book in between a series except for a few things. There's a few times I've done that, but for the most part I need to just keep going. So as soon as I have the money to do so, I'm going to buy the second one, and I want to read it before the end of the year. Obviously I have more books on my TBR, but I'm only going to mention one more series that I want to finish before the end of the year, and that is Throne of Glass. I'm on Empire of Storms. I'm not doing a tandem read. I just don't vibe with that. So I do want to finally finish this. For a while I was reading one Throne of Glass book a month, and then I skipped a month that I was supposed to read this, and I was going to read the same Tower of Dawn in the same month. And that was the same month I was supposed to read From Blood and Ash, and I did not do that. I've been reading a lot of standalones, and just like zooming through them. So hopefully I can get back to this because there's only 3. I only have to get through 3. But I'm also dreading Kingdom of Ash because it's so big. so that's scary. I definitely want to finish Throne of Glass so that also I can read Crescent City. I've already read ACOTAR, so I wanted to do Throne of Glass before I got to Crescent City because I've heard rumors that they are connected in some way. So I need to finish this. So that was very quick, but that is the mid-year book freakout tag. These are some books I've read, some books I want to read, and I'm pretty excited about some of them, and I love some of them, and I hope that if you've read any, let me know. I'd love to talk to you about books. I have a couple of videos that I am trying to plan out that I think will be pretty cool, but it is summer for me, and since I don't have a job right now in the summer because it's summer, I'm trying to enjoy all of my free time. So I haven't looked at Instagram and TikTok as much as I had previously, but I'm gonna try and fix that. So you'll definitely be seeing more of me, and I hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching. Bye.